Jimmy. Me too. For the biggest mistake of Odo broni was to live in the same house with Lumba and add the mother to it. Quote me everywhere. It's the most foolish decision any woman can take. It's Odo broni nyere, and let it be on record.
Abusuya eye cancel Lutterodt esi enei. Mistake ba ko Odo broni ye ni se o ma ne maame betena oni dadi Lumba enchen. Obeka yi a utietie nsem ni mu a na kire se eye Odo broni maame na efia na dadi Lumba na Odo broni tim no na maame no so eti obi cancel Lutterodt say eye big mistake here Odo broni ye na abusuya wo kire mu na okoro nim no ena o se abo chechi sabi eda nfuo mu se de kura no a wontimi badane de nchem ema no enyeje de biara da enye de ensi na ewiasim ade a eja ene se wo ne be matifie a wonye wo ho ade ade tonte cancel Lutterodt e make that particular comment na busuya wo sa so esa ekiremu esa eye de ewo ho na o se ne wo se nsem bi nam social media so abefa ne tafidie ketie no so se Dadi Lumba busuya ewo insuta paako no age atum se Odo broni emayikuna na saa eye the news na nam social media so no eye ntro enti ne wo ba na kire to ba be kire ene cancel Lutterodt abusuya adi nkomodo asuko ako deep pa busuya ensam wa kire se oka no ano de se de meka de bia no empanfo se enwomoda yete no ni wura no ankasa no enye nsam nkire mu emfra free cancel Lutterodt omra ha AHINTASEM TV. Subscribe, like, and share the comments.
Then I saw a post yesterday from a very beautiful, affable woman who brought to, I don't know about this one, but I just saw yesterday on social media. I didn't come up yesterday, but on that particular video, I hear they say a family, one of the uncles of Daddy Lumba from the family has stated clearly that my own Schwarenegger is not a family member. And Schwarenegger is very, very much offended with a lot of insults. When I saw the woman playing the video and explaining to us, then she came back to say, finally, Odo broni has been vindicated that she has been accepted as a wife by the family to do the widowhood rights. Unfortunately, I checked, and that is also a lie. Odo broni has not been accepted by the family as a wife to do widowhood rights. As far as I am concerned with the reportage that are coming, I'm doing these things because entro ne ya doso. Na entro bebre ekopie nkomodie mu a ema no kure ne ye basabi. O tie me pa. Obi ba ha no be kasa na abra be fa na. Bi say na wo ye hwan. Mo kai say samabwaji nkoma ye di. Abanye bi ba say samabwaji ne busuani oni ne bole ko school. E no ma ye ti ase a wade a ye koye. Samba kaya said the ever beautiful Abigail. Omo ye ni fie awade. Ebusuana samba be timu say Abigail na oye honorable samabwaji yire na the late bwaji yire no. Omo ankoye court awade tie pa. Na omo ye fie awade. But document na ye circulate brochure na ye no. Ye Abigail no. Abigail abwaji. Na obi fa abwaji a na chese wa gazette awade bi through the swearing of affidavit. Eti ebusua nimu se omo be man akọ court akọ sign abia na ana abi na sheda fedi na to no so akrata nda so ba de ba ko a madwinu me bisa a ye nyina yesua de ne se emfatu bia ensesi ebeye bi se Odo broni eni Abigail enkomo ne yepe enyepe Odo broni onye yire na se mfonso po ne baaye ena Lumba onimode ekoye Odo broni wade a mfonso kese pa na se Odo broni jitum se Lumba koye no wade a metietie allege se odinfonia ba na dampare a witness odinfoni bi so ba Pentecost osofo penine. All those clouded conversation will go into the negative for her, because if she proves that Lumba married her, then she has to be told to prove that she is not aware Lumba is married. But hear this. Akosia Sewa Mrs. in the same limelight, and I'll play a certain video for you now to hear. Here
this broni nti na me need that the Lumba nkasa be sine. So di wuye.
Nti wo ben odo broni kakra, what say odo ka kira wo say papa na ye ne ho ade.
Papa na nkasa na ka kira be say odo wu ne third born e free. Say yeko US yeko UK no. No odo nyem ne third born. No omu kita nkwala mienu no. Nti ye du airport obi twa a picture de come aye maami sewa. Na sa ata be maami sewa doesn't know say Lumba and the cry were family. Also ayeyi. Nti that was the time you do airport Lumba bu free so on Holland ni bium. And I Lord they try take it man they call Germany.
The question Aisha Modi was asked was not answered to me. But Aisha said the way the news went to Ma Kosia Sewa was after the third child was born, and was because somebody took a picture of Lumba and the children, and out of that Lumba left UK to Germany in anger not to play the show again. Those of you who are saying say Akosia Sewa tewo obabe na tiwa na nikunu eware nkrofo and na only one can hear me. I'm telling you, the level of privacy and reservation that the legend that the Lumba provided for himself, his children. Hear me. It is on record that close people to Lumba have gone to Lumba's residence even after a phone call, and were not giving audience to enter the house. Some sat outside for more than 3 hours, and they are saying it 4 hours. There are people who have gone to sign a deal with that Lumba, and they have stayed out because even though they have pressed the bell, they heard Lumba has not given access for them to come. Some have gone to his residence and has been sacked that he doesn't want to see them. So the level of privacy that this legend that Lumba provided for Odo broni and the children, I believe it is not even that he kicked the bucket. These things could have been kept so that kingdom come. And it's a lesson to some of us, especially me. Oh yes, me. I'm learning a lot from Lumba's case. I don't know if you're learning anything. In exposing a lot of the things in the name of, in quotes, freedom of a world we are living in. My wife is a hidden commodity, even though I know she's not happy about it. And there are some friends of my wife who, one way or the other, may be polluting her that, be known, be known. The fact that you know my wife will destroy what I am doing. Hear this. Pastors whose wives are not known, and they are not happy because their wives are known. But it is because the ministry demands, in a way, not by force, that your wife will constantly be introduced in church. In my church, anytime anybody introduces my wife, I get pissed off. Let me say on record, and I'll take off my cap to say this. If anybody tells you that my wife is not beautiful, the person is a fool. I've met a lot of women who have all that they have. But I'll say this, with no offense, that they are all beautiful in their style. But I've not met the kind of my wife again in any other woman, which is normal. And I'll say in my heart, I have loved other women, not as my wife, but I've loved them, and I still love them. But I am learning my lessons on how to cord my family, so I don't expose my wife, that when my wife is sitting at a certain bar drinking her head off, a picture will be taken and I will stand behind the post to make her not have her freedom of living. I've said it. If my marriage collapses today, it will not affect me like my wife. If we go the way I am going, and I am learning more from that Lumba's cording mentality. If we follow it, and my wife and children follows this pattern, if our marriage collapses, my wife will not suffer. Same here. If our marriage goes to old age, my wife will enjoy everything I have labored for. But if she does with ill advice to walk out of the cording in the name of want to feel free, which she will never have, Right now, most people point fingers to other people as my wife and not my legitimate wife that I know. And I'm happy. But my wife may not be happy. And that would be her defense of foolishness based on ill advice and public statement. Bema de onam na obi nim one won tra and tell me na so ye bibi o baby or bibi sie yes or the bibi sie fa ho e ma de nkwala sie amema atena si omawu o that lanti osuwoti bisu a legend footballer e san say Gloria de nkwala nai aba amame wa hwe won sa nkwala ne nya ne dia wansu owie ya fa nkrofa de nkire ye di nkomo ya obi di authentic DNA send me a cuckoo dambi power Ghana. Unquara 5 back up an a big, intelligent, smart man. Yesterday I didn't go to my phone. It was this dawn I saw that message and audio came to me that a man says the father advised him not to do DNA. Why? Because they were bringing children in the house and the father said, "We enyawopa." But our fathers are right. My father told me that any woman that comes and says, "I have a child with her," I should remember they will take and I will be responsible. That's what my father said. And it's still standing. So if you are watching me today and I have a child with you and you don't bring it, it's not because I told you not to bring it, because my family is ready to receive it. Forget about my wife. I'm going to thank you for coming, my love. Forget about my wife. Bring the child, but bring it in consultation with common sense. If you make a mistake and bring a child I have with you on social media, I will see you as a traitor and I will consider that video as treason. Why? Because social media will not pay the fees of that child you bring in the public space. And every day I say it, any man watching me, any woman in your life, whether married, side chick, baby mama, whoever, including your mother, that will do anything that will affect your career, your medium of income, your way of feeding, anybody around you that will come and will want to put sand in your judicious gari, know that the 3 kinds of human beings that are in our life, that person will be one of them, and learn how to treat such a person. So if I have a child with you and this career I have used to work, you can be able to come and disgrace me in court, finding the center for yourself and the child you claim I have with you. I might be happy to collect the child, but I promise you, I'll not make you survive. Oh yes. You know why executioners are in the king's palace? Abrafo omonti ahimfie no. Omonye decoration. Adie bi e besa ahindie ne etwa so. Adie bi e benyin abedane ankona na ama dachi man. Yekum, it is a one for kwan paso. Na baby a mididi no ubeni gu ho a. Eto na odi ne ye no make me the quota besaw ama bi mfi to bi. Lumba to me cry ebushia ma enye so da bi bekum so e wo mre a ensem fata mani mu anka. Me can say ni pemu. But I think that if Lumba could have even been bedridden and was not speechless, some of these things we are fighting and discussing could have been resolved well. But I'm saying this on record, that when a man leaves home and he doesn't come back home but goes back to rent a new place called a refrigerator in a morgue, his back will always be basa basa. That is why I like the way God calls people. Put your house in order because you are about to die. I pray that in my old age, I will be old and strong. In my old age with a lot of children around me, I will put my house in order, because if I kick the bucket today, there will be disorder behind me. Why? Because I've not been able to cord my family like Lumba did. But I'm saying on record that Odo broni, according to Aishamodi's answer that didn't come out, that the Lumba's travel was not a family travel. So The children might have been part of the game they are going. I don't know how they added the children, like we said, but he was traveling on, watch it here, on a musical visa, P1, which gives Lumba the right to add his drama, his dances, his choreographers. So in that alleged conversation, that in the travel, although Broni was not made a wife to travel with Lumba, but was added as one of the choreographers or dancers, may be true, because if a musician is traveling and not a family trip, seldom will you be given access to travel with your wife, because the role play of your P1 is very essential. Lumba DNA de akase ye no kresen kwara de dia Captain Smart na ka odo Broni nso a onye yire nso ye hu anu akase ye tu kwan no yanya certificate bia mane se ye oyere yo empo Lumba bu fun se obi atwamfoni e dia koma akosu asewa ama akosu asewa bi sase na nkwale ye etodu UK no odi abufu ko German e ko hia ne yire enkomo mudi ye de Ashamudi onim man ko be kan so de me no
do me kra me ni da de Lumba nkasa bi sine so di wuye
nti wo ben odo broni kakra wo te se odo ka kira wo se papa ne ye ne ho ade
papa na nkasa de ka kira bi se odo wu ni third born e free se ye ko US ye ko UK no na odo nyim ni third born na omu kita nkwala mi no nti ye du airport obi twa e picture de koma ye maami sewa na sa ata de maami sewa doesn't know say Lumba and cry wo family also ayeyi nti that was the time you do airport Lumba bu free so on Holland ni bium and I lord they try ticket money call Germany
okay obi be share Germany di eba London ho asem
yeah I lord they na by force e ko fan because na sa time no also on free Germany embe show no
yanya we dey clear me ko see na Scott na Neat or Peace FM and o chire mu say a lot their programs na ade ano mo kono no mo marriage certificate Chere se odo broni award man visa man
I cannot lie about it meaning a lot there ye visa me kita American book nti se ne a lot there ye ni procedure I don't know me there minimum ne say a lot there ba Ghana any ye nyina ekomu daddy payment was made to daddy Lumba at that time a lot there mo be chase kan wo Ghana nti even I have the video on my phone there a lot there mo be chase kan 15 years ago it's still on my phone it's still on my snap just like I send me to me chain
okay
because I check but me tini yi acho and as me tini acho record acho a lot there about obetwe aka me daddy Lumba odo broni everybody and I don't know so your marriage certificate because what I know due to my experience I want to say a lot there into me use marriage certificate and found before odo broni in America it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because Lumba ekono oyusu musical visa enu nti na yetumi di enkrofo ti say omo bebo ni bank account nti say enye marriage
obetumi na kan ti
ena moreover no UK nye baby obetumi akodi agwa enu nti na Lumba ne oforian posa ye bomb kromo ano
because ya nye certificate bi ama odo broni amfa Lumba ntukwan na Lumba bufuo ni say obi breaking with banks because Lumba protected coded his life by a do airport and obi twelfoni na sani ma kosu asewa say Lumba wo ma oni omutu kwan and Lumba bi ebufu eko German and a lord ya enibre kopa cho efi German back the oni akosu asewa ko kan ye de ye ni na ashamodi nkomo ni bio ka say enye awade so na Lumba de fa edi ba UK na nyomtufo visa sa nyomtufo visa ne fa ni P1 na sa P1 ne fa yire ntoso obi de ne yire tukwa wo P1 so a na chese wa ye ne dancer makeup artist singer baka bubobi mami enti say odo broni is alleged say oni daddy to kwan dia then maybe I stand to be corrected. Omu design as a dancer, a singer, a backer, or a publicist. So sa kwesi na sem common ensisi so bonu akanwe ye no obetwisan ye e won komo fufuru be ya me de so otwisan ye da cha sem binti eti odo broni nyayire and let it be on record. Me say, Owoma obikum, na nipa ne di wuti fie baako a, wani nje te se okoba. Bema one wawo a onyo ho ade. Ono wuti fie baako a, wani nje te se bema wayo ho ade ti. Na eya so no ti compound house. Na ye nimguasie so no ti self compounder ya fence. Na debia wo pia enkrofo hu se wo pia fi councilor Lutterodt fie. But you say we are na nkwala no mame. Ya. So the state of Broni in the life of that Lumba for this number of years have not been pleasant. So our sympathy will go for her based on these things. And we can 51st day and commercial yes Broni. My young fast da embryo near the power chew. Enti a foot na nkro body mouth we fi say foot no. Men koyo kuna na wanyo mufi. You are not 40 years. You are a young, beautiful chap who has gotten opportunity to weave yourself into a prominent man's life. Control his gates. You've created enemies for yourself. I shall money made it clear so no one kasa na sa hono ehu hiame. But then you wa daddy Lumba person di who see no ne woni nkwala ni sie ntino. Emma wo ye get woman bi a wo na ma nkrofo bem pie di nkrofo ka se ye wo na ka wo ti baabi e na wo de Lumba mba ni ti baabi e na ya obesram ye du kakra mpo anka mbanya nyonyam sen wo ti Lumba ho wo tie me ba e ti obi de wo a men pray who say the children needs you, the children wants you. And the way the children will always go to school and they ask, where's your daddy? Where's your daddy? I am tired. Hey, Kalu. What do they need it for? When they mention their name, don't they see that they are called Freddy Lutterodt? And so, my presence, father and child day, only coach day. Abraham so be and one is sent out in the school for the says Yabra Bosa. Me ban mommy sending me letter be if school say the day with daddy. Father's Day with daddy. Now Councilor Lutterodt. My name is Barney. Now Obi. In this, I want to call myself because I know I'm doing things that will help my future. I'm calling myself. And that is how Lumba was living. So although Broni's mistake was to live with Lumba in the same house, not to have a child with Lumba. Having child with Lumba was not a mistake because it is not for the future of Broni, for the future of these children. These children have 85% prominency in the world. Share. Imagine your name is Lumba's son, Lumba's daughter. Even the man to marry you will have a certain mentality and some level of decorum because a name is good and better than riches. So Lumba was living that life. The biggest mistake of Broni was to live in the same house with Lumba and add the mother to it. Quote me everywhere. It's the most foolish decision any woman can take. So hear me. If you are having children with somebody's husband and the person is in Abrochi and the day they are coming, the wife will let you pack your things. Hear me. It is better for you to go and live in a chamber hall with the children than to live in the house that the man has built with the husband. And the day the woman is coming to Ghana, they let you pack or Susum essay.
Oh, I remember saying, hey, it's a madame.
That's it. Say it's alleged. Say a da Lumba wife buy him. Yamado Broni see dem. Eno or man kwada ho say budana simami wa is alleged. Me too for. Me too for. Men ka say no be kunu debi. Or baby out there o ma da chibi no. E kwanya be da ho a ma osikani bi owo din a otumi hwa ne ma endu ne. Take my advice. You thank me 5 years later.
Goldberry and Construction Limited for say main country say more 5 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, finished apartment or more than a ton with a flexible payment terms. Interbusioni Johan, for numbers now a good screen so 020 70 36 71 0 na efromo na enomo endi eye ehun kom afetu so say opese omu sit down from scratch to finish so betimi aboa say wo dan bi na pese omu pese omu renovate so edema so betimi ayeden aboa say ene o asase na pese already start so betimi ayeden aboa was akwa so say ene so o de open building materials so a abusua omu betimi ayeden aboa say o sit down na open drawing plan ultramodern one part so contact omo na busu munye bi emfama omo no bese no 020 70 36 71 0 020 70 36 71 0 abusu from Sëcret.